You're listening to the Stay Sore Podcast.
Good day, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Stay Sore Podcast. I'm your host, Skitsko. Let's get real. Why can't you lose weight? If you click this episode, you already know from the title, we're talking about hidden calories in food. Why can't people lose weight? Why can't you lose weight? You do all the right things. You go to the gym, you work out, and you get very discouraged because it seems like, quote unquote, nothing is working. I'm doing all the right things and it's not helping me. I'm still not losing weight. In some cases, maybe even gaining weight. So yes, I have to mention that there's medical issues. There's things like thyroid problems, hormonal imbalances, other things, yes. But most of the time, it's just the misunderstanding of the caloric value of foods. Because, let's be real, most of you don't want to read the ingredients list, the labels of foods, and just count calories for a few weeks to start understanding and having a grasp of how many calories, sugars, fats, and proteins are in foods. And I'm not judging you right now, I'm just trying to help. So I got put together a very condensed list of foods with hidden calories. So foods you have to be very mindful of. And before we start this episode, I wanted to mention real quick, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just a trainer with education behind him that has been doing this for over a decade. So therefore, I cannot legally give you nutrition advice or education. So this is only for entertainment purposes. Let's get started. Number one, the most important meal of your day should be breakfast, right? So let's start with breakfast foods. The holy grail of skinny people breakfasts, the holy grail of those supermodel breakfasts, at least in the perception of most people, is green juices or even smoothies, but green juices, right? So I'm talking about the ones you buy in the store, the pre-mixed green juices. Have you ever turned that bottle around and read the label? Woof. Before I tell you something about those green juices, I want to give you some perspective. The American Heart Association says that for women, the daily allowance of sugar should be no more than 100 calories or 24 grams of sugar. For men, it should be no more than 150 calories or 36 grams of sugar. So 24 for women, 36 for men. Most of those green, quote-unquote, healthy juices, if you turn it around and read the ingredient list, you will see they have 30, 35, 40, 50, up to 55 grams of just sugar in them. Why? Because all those healthy things like kale, spinach, sprouts, and all that healthy, green, sometimes disgusting tasting stuff has to be covered. The flavors have to be covered by sugary fruits and sometimes just even sugar itself to make it taste good enough, decent enough for you to come back and buy more, because those companies are businesses and they need you to come back and buy more. Therefore, they have to make it taste very good. So be very careful and mindful. The biggest tip I want to give you through this podcast is, please don't be afraid to start turning those foods around and reading the nutritional label, the food ingredients. You will be shocked. It takes only 3 to 5 seconds to read the amount of sugar, then to read the amount of protein, and then to read the amount of fats, and also to read the size of servings or serving size, serving portion. Okay, so green juices can be healthy. Yes, they have a lot of greens in them, fruits, vegetables, but a lot of hidden sugars because they want it to taste good. Let's move on. I don't want to waste too much time. Just run through this list. We have 10 ingredients. The second best breakfast choice usually is breakfast cereals. They're advertised as something extremely healthy, right? But again, turn the box around and read the label. Whoa. It seems really healthy and good, but read the portion size. The portion size usually is like 30 grams. That little bird that wakes you up in spring, that sits on your window and like sings beautiful tunes, that bird eats more than the serving size that they recommend. You're gonna eat 3, 4, 5 times more than the serving size suggests. So they make it look like a healthy choice because they make the serving size so small. Pay attention to how much cereal you eat. I bet it's 3, 4, or 5 times more than what the serving allowance is on the box. And on top of that, I bet you put some milk on there or something else to make it taste not dry, right? So combined, that's like 3 meals in one. So be very mindful of that. Let's move on. Number 3, some people don't have time to eat breakfast. They grab a piece of fruit and run out. Even worse, if you don't eat fruit, like fruit is kind of good for you, right? But even worse, fruit juice. And that's what I wanted to talk about, fruit juice. How many oranges are you going to eat in the morning? 1, maybe 2 if you're one of those extreme people. 2 oranges, okay. If you drink a glass of orange juice, that's the equivalent of like 3 or 4 oranges, minus the fiber that stayed in the garbage that you throw out after making a juice. So it's just liquid sugar with a little bit of vitamins in there, yes. If you want fruit, okay, eat it. Don't drink it. You're going to drink 2 or 3 times more calories in the form of sugary fluid than you would get eating a real fruit. Let's move on. We talked about fruits, so let's talk about dried foods and even worse, dried fruits. I don't want to make it sound unhealthy because it's healthy. It has vitamins and minerals in there. But again, a fruit has a lot of water in it. So the volume of the item is big, keeping your stomach full longer. But dehydrated fruits, they have no water, so the volume of the item is very small, yet it still has the same amount of sugar and other stuff in there. So it's going to be easier to overeat it because it is smaller with the same amount of calories in there. So dried fruits have the tendency to spike your insulin like crazy, and the tendency of having you overeat it and underestimate the amount of calories or sugar you just consumed. Be very mindful and careful of dried foods and especially dried fruits. Let's move on. Another very popular quote-unquote healthy snack is spreads. Let's say peanut butter, super popular. Most people think it's good for me. It has so much protein in there. Well, first of all, it has way more fats in there than protein. And yes, some of that fat is kind of healthy-ish, yes. But people underestimate the caloric value of peanut butter. Only 1 teaspoon of peanut butter has over 60 calories. When was the last time you took only 1 little teaspoon of peanut butter? I bet you take more than that. And on top of that, you probably spread it on something. And that something has calories as well. So really quickly, it turns from a snack to a full-blown meal. But in your mind, you just snacked, right? Same thing goes for hummus. Be very careful. It's considered a healthy snack. Yet, that hummus, you're going to eat more than just 1 or 2 spoons full of, and then spread it on something else, and it becomes a meal really quick. So again, is it unhealthy? No. But be mindful of making it not a snack, but a full-blown meal. But in your mind, you still just had a snack. Let's move on. Another quick and healthy quote-unquote snack is yogurt. Is it bad for you? Probably not. But which kind are you eating? Plain Greek yogurt that you flavor yourself carefully with some maybe berries or something? Or do you eat the flavored yogurt? A little small container of yogurt can have up to 250 calories, and it's very small. And most of those calories will come from sugar. Just take that container, turn it around, and read how many grams of sugar is in here. Remember, American Heart Association says 24 grams for women, 36 grams for men throughout the whole day. So that little can, quite often, will have more sugar than what you can afford throughout the whole day, spread over all your meals. So again, yogurt can be healthy, but be mindful of the ingredients. So again, my biggest tip, read the ingredients. It takes a few seconds. Get into the habit so you can understand what you eat. Next, one of the quote-unquote, again, healthiest choices you can do for lunch is salad, right? That's the perception by society nowadays. Salad. Is salad bad for you? No, salad is amazing for you. The problem is that besides the salad, you put so many other things on top of the salad, considering it's still a salad. Yes, you have your salad, and then on top of it, you have cheese. Then on top of that, you probably have like those dried noodles or dried bread, and then salad dressing, just pouring it all over. By the time you're done with setting up your salad, that salad will have more calories than a cheeseburger and fries. The dressing itself will have more calories than the salad. Take the dressing, read the ingredients. Okay, so let's talk about healthy options for dressings. Let's say olive oil. Olive oil is so good for you. It's so healthy. Those healthy fats are good for your heart, are good for your immune system, good for anti-inflammatory purposes, and so many benefits to olive oil, right? So let's put that on your salad. I agree with all of it, yes. Again, be mindful of the caloric density of fats in things like olive oil. 1 tablespoon can have up to 120 calories. Are you just putting carefully 1 tablespoon on your stuff? Or is it 2, 3, or 4? By the time you're done putting olive oil on the stuff that you eat, like salad or whatever it is, you have a whole meal just from olive oil. So be very mindful. Okay, let's move on. Another healthy snack would be nuts. Nuts are good for you, right? Again, they're very, very dense in fats as far as calories goes. So if you eat nuts for a snack, imagine a tablespoon and you put nuts on there just enough to not make them fall off the spoon. 2 tablespoons is your snack. If you have more than 2 tablespoons, it becomes a meal. Just read the ingredients list and portion size for nuts, and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Because if you want to have a snack, the portion size has to be extremely small. Okay, and the simplest and healthiest way to snack on the go would be something like a banana. Bananas are good for you, right? They have healthy electrolytes like potassium, so it's good for working out purposes. And yes, eating a banana before a workout can help with the workout. But what if you just sit at your desk at work and eat a banana? An average banana, a medium banana, has about 100 calories. That's the equivalent of running like a mile for the average person. So sitting at your desk, will you eat a banana and then go run a mile? Will you eat only a banana? Is there other stuff you're going to eat on top of that? So again, this episode is meant to make you mindful and then understand the caloric value of foods. All those foods are good for you, but they have hidden calories in them, very dense hidden calories. So if you get one thing out of this episode, get into the habit of turning the item around and reading the food label, the ingredients list. And you will be blown away by what is inside there and by portion sizes. So if something has a lot of calories, the companies just figured, let's make the portion size smaller to make the calorie amount a little lower or seem a little lower. But usually we don't eat just 1 serving, we eat 2, 3, 4, 5 because we're super awesome, super size, super fast, super strong, super food. That's not always good. I hope you got something out of this episode. Don't get discouraged, but get motivated. Read, understand, be mindful of your foods. If you want more health, fitness, mindset advice, consider subscribing to the podcast or subscribing to the YouTube if you're watching this, to the Stay Sore channel. This is meant to help. I hope you got something out of it. I love you. Stay sore. See you in the next episode. Peace.